All right, guys. So I am coming on here. I haven't recorded a video in a very long time, but I'm coming on here because I believe the core versus knots issue is actually the next block size wars. I think core has been compromised. I think core version 30 is an attack on the network. And I'm going to walk you through exactly why I think that. So let's first scroll over here, and I want to show you that we're winning, guys, okay? So if you look right here at the top Bitcoin node versions, right, you're actually going to see that knots is in third. So we are only about 2.5% away from being the top implementation. So if you think about each implementation version as its own thing, which it really is, because all knots is a different, version implementation. Core 29 is at 20% market share. Core 28 is at 18.33. And if you look at some other statistics, you'll even see that, knots is at 18.46. And I think this is starting to climb. As you can see here, we're starting to really make some noise here. So I'm coming on here because I feel like I need to point out what's going on. So what Core is doing has actually already been tried in the past. So Bitcoin SV already tried this. So you'll see right here, Bitcoin SV feature exploited to store child abuse imagery on the blockchain. Okay, this has already been tried, and Core 30 is trying to push it through. And what makes Bitcoin great is that the plebs are in charge. We are in charge. So my challenge to you right now is we need to take this very seriously. Run a knots node. Run a knots node, because you'll see here that a change to Bitcoin Satoshi's vision, BSV protocol, has inadvertently led to child exploitation material being posted on its blockchain, forcing apps and block explorers to actively monitor the network for illegal content. Okay, so this was made possible after community members increased the amount of data accepted in transaction by 450 times to 100 kilobytes. So Core thinks we are stupid. It's as simple as this. Core developers think that the network is stupid. It's that simple. There's no other reason for this change outside of the fact that they think they're elites. They think they know better, and they also think that we're not going to notice the obvious attack here. Guys, it's already been tried. This has already happened. Bitcoin Satoshi devs and miners remove another limitation to scale Bitcoin. Bitcoin software has been plagued by artificial limitations since day one, right? Boom, 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 increasing the block size. So not only did Bitcoin SV increase the block size, right? But they increased the op return limit to 100 kilobytes. This is beautiful. We have proof this has already been tried. We have proof that when it was tried, this is what happened. And now Core developers are trying to pull this trick on us. And you know what I say? It's an absolutely beautiful thing, because if Core wasn't so obviously arrogant, if Core wasn't so obviously compromised, then we wouldn't know this is coming, If it wasn't so obvious that there's a reason why they're trying to push this through, because to me, to Matt Cratter, to a lot of people in this space, it's not just Matt Cratter, he's been shouting it from the rooftops. I feel like even if I only get 5 views on this video, it doesn't matter. I need to get my voice out there. Knots is the step forward. Knots is the small blockers here, guys. This is our chance once again to show that nodes are in charge of the network, that plebs are in charge of the network, and that the free market's going to choose. We want Bitcoin to remain a hard money protocol. It's not a data storage protocol, but this is even bigger. What this is Core attacking the network. Core developers are fully compromised and can no longer be trusted to maintain the code base. It's that simple. So one thing I do want to say is thank you to all the Core developers. Thank you for making your corruption so obvious. Thank you. We're all very grateful that you've made your corruption so obvious, and all you keep doing is pushing away. You keep saying, people who run knots, it doesn't matter. If it didn't matter, you wouldn't shout it from the rooftops, okay? So a few other things here. The reason why it's an attack is because we already have the BSC frame, right? You'll be forced to relay illegal data, right? And so you'll see here, right, we have this Bitcoin. Op return limit removal, a policy shift with broad implications. Guys, this is an attack. This is an attack. So one thing I would say is I do think that Knots is going to be the main implementation of Node software, simply because core developers showed us their true colors. Core developers showed us who they are. Thank you, core. Again, I just want to say thank you, core developers, for showing us how corrupt you are, how arrogant you are, how ignorant you are, and how little you actually understand the Bitcoin protocol and the Bitcoin network. We're in charge. The Bitcoin protocol is run by the plebs. Plebs will be running Knots, and we are going to take over the implementation. It's that simple. You made a huge mistake. You can't just push these changes through, and it was very obvious there was no consensus on this change, even though you're trying to claim there was consensus. Little do you know, this is not, we're not just, we all have so much skin in this game that we're not going to allow you to just push this change through. And again, it's proved by where we're at. As you can see here, Knots is coming up hard. So if we push, guys, if we push hard, Knots can be the top implementation of Bitcoin very soon, and I would love to see it get up to 50%. The second Knots gets to 50%, we take over the network. We're the node relayers. And so, core, do what you want, but you're arrogant, you're ignorant, and we're not going to let you win. Best of luck. Run Knots. Core, thank you again for thank you for testing the immune system of the Bitcoin network and the Bitcoin protocol. You actually have done us a huge favor by showing us your true colors now, so that way we now know, cool, moving forward, none of you can be trusted. Thanks again. Run Knots. Save, not even save Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin. So run Knots. Let the free, that's actually letting the free market decide. Cheers, guys.